All right, fifth graders, welcome to our electronic math chat number 23. Today we're going to be working on strategizing to solve multi-term problems with fractions. So we are going to be given a variety of mixed numbers and fractions and improper fractions, and we are going to have to use many different operations to add and subtract these numbers strategically and going about how to solve these with using the least amount of time as possible. This can be kind of tricky. I am going to start you off with number 2, and then what I'm going to do is I will help solve number 2 for you, and then I'll start you on number 1 and then have you guys finish number 1 on your own. So I'm going to start by taking this problem over here to my whiteboard. So it is 2 3/5. We'll do 2 3/5 minus 3/4 plus 2/5. Oops. My mouse is kind of going on me. All right, there we go. So when we solve these problems, we are going to want to organize them so that they are next to each other with common denominator. So in this case, I have noticed that my numbers with common denominators are my 2 3/5, okay, and my 2/5. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to take my 2 3/5 and my 2/5, and I'm going to want to combine those numbers because I have common denominators, so I'll use less steps combining these two first, then turning this into a common denominator with the 4. So I'm just going to kind of leave this 3/4 here and then bring these two down to work on. So if I have 2 3/5 plus 2/5, I'm going to have 2 3/5 plus, my mouse is not working for me today, plus 2/5, okay? I don't really need to do a whole lot of converting this improper fraction, or this mixed number, to an improper fraction, because I know that I can just add my fractions because I have common denominators of 5. So I know 3/5 plus 2/5 is going to get me 5/5, okay? And I'm going to bring this 2 over here as well. So I have 2 5/5. Well, I know that 5/5 is also equal to 1 whole. So 2 1 whole is actually just going to get me 3, okay? So now I'm going to bring this 3 back up to right here to my problem. So now I'm noticing that I'm going to have 3 minus 3/4, okay, equals 3 minus 3/4. Now, some of you are able to look at this and say, okay, I know that 3 take away 3/4, and you mentally are able to state that it is 2 1/4. But to show you how I went about getting that answer, I'm going to turn this whole number 3 into an improper fraction as 3/1. Now I can do butterfly method to solve these out, and that would start us off by multiplying the butt of our butterfly. So 1 times 4 is going to get me 4. Okay. Then I'm going to do my right wing, which is 3 times 4 is 12. My left wing, 3 times 1 is 3. Okay. The body of my butterfly is telling me to subtract those. My denominator is going to be 4. And 12 minus 3 is 9. And I know that 4 can go into 9 2 times, and then there's 1 left over. So my overall answer is going to be 2 1/4. Okay. Mentally, I solved it up here. I showed you how I was able to come up with that answer strategically down here. So my answer to number 2 is going to be 2 1/4. Now, I want to make it known that it is very important when you're solving these problems that when you're rearranging the fractions and mixed numbers, if there's a negative sign, a subtraction sign in front of a fraction or a number, it is attached to the following fraction or number. So right here with this negative, I couldn't have converted that to a positive. When I brought that 3 back up here, that minus sign is connected to that 3/4. If you start rearranging the negatives and the subtraction to different areas, you are going to get into a sticky mess. So make sure when you're rearranging, you are rearranging and that those negatives and those subtraction signs are staying with the fraction or the number that's directly behind it. Okay? Now, I told you guys I would help you out with number 1, get you started on it. So up here, number 1, I have 1/4 plus 2 2/3. Black here. Boom. I have 1/4 plus 2 2/3. And then I have plus 7/4 plus 1/3 plus 7/4 plus 1/3. Okay. Alrighty, so I'm going to start you guys off by helping you rearrange these fractions so that they are strategically placed. There are no negative signs or subtraction signs in this problem, so I can rearrange these any way I want. That rule I just told you only goes with subtraction. I'm noticing that I have 2 fractions with denominators of 4. I have 1/4 and 7/4. So I'm going to pull those down here. I have 1/4 plus 7/4. I'm going to put that in parentheses so you guys can solve that one. Okay. And then my other fractions that I have that are common denominators are 2 2/3 plus 1/3. Bring that down over here. I'm going to have 2 2/3, oops, plus 1/3. Oops. Put that in parentheses because you're going to solve those two together. And then I'm just going to add my plus sign right here and my equal sign. I've started you guys off on this problem. I rearranged my fractions and mixed numbers by common denominators. So you are going to want to solve 1/4 plus 7/4 and then 2 2/3 plus 1/3. Your sum inside of each one of these parentheses are going to be added together to get your final answer for number 1. All right, guys, this one can be a little tricky. Don't be afraid to reach out if you have any questions, and I'm here to help you. All right, take care.